She was just coming off of a divorce. To be at this age and to be going through this, I think that any of us would feel like, all right, my life is over. We typically don't text about the movie ahead of time, but I could not help myself last night and texted Laura, Chris Pratt from Parks and Rec, kind of doing his surprise face in response to discovering that Emma Thompson was married to, or is still married to, the actor who plays John Willoughby. And then today, we were texting with Erica, and the very first thing she said was, "Hey, I found this really great tidbit." And we should say the actor's actual name, Greg Wise. As soon as he showed up on the screen, I was like, who is this guy? I feel like I would have remembered someone who looks like that showing up in this way
Michelle,
on
what
his
did you
horse.
actually call him, though?
Now, can you put your arm about my neck?
Yeah, the way that I discovered it was not even, the typical is like you're on the Wikipedia page, it says who their spouse is. I wouldn't have even known his name, but just like I was clicking on Emma Thompson, there was a picture that came up and it was the two of them and she had her hand like lightly placed on his stomach. And I was like, wait, that's Mr. Willoughby. I was like, are they at a rewatch of the film and they were close? And I was like, oh my God. They're in love. They're so in love. They met on this film. She had just been getting out of her first marriage. And I think my favorite thing that I read was actually a story recounted from Kate Winslet about how Kate Winslet, ironically, I mean, it's also not ironic. I feel like there's always these weird stories on films that she got hypothermia from the rain machine. She was sick and she was lying on the couch, and Emma Thompson and Greg are consoling her. And she was like, and little did I know, the two of them are like flirting. They're over my almost dead body. I don't personally know Emma Thompson and I haven't read much about her, but I can imagine that this movie is kind of like the movie that changed it all.
I know you mentioned this briefly, but I feel like it's worth going into a little bit deeper, that she was just coming off of a divorce to Kenneth Branagh, who was having an affair with Helena Bonham Carter. Not to get all like gossipy, and I know we are in our text we were already comparing ourselves to Mrs. Jennings.
I think I've unearthed a secret.
But just to be at this age, she's in her mid 30s, and to be going through this, I think that any of us would feel like, all right, my life is over. And not just her relationship and her family, but Kenneth Branagh is also a big deal. And so much of her past work was connected to him. To think that she was going to have to start over in so many ways, and to step up in this way, to be able to write this script, to be able to star in this, even though she's way older than this character is in the book. And then to be the only person to have still in history won both for Best Screenplay and for Best Actress. This is Emma Thompson's moment.
I feel like one thing messing with my head in a really good way was thinking about it from the lens that she's the one that wrote this screenplay. Because the character of Elinor is so beautiful. She takes care of everyone. She is kind, thinking of everyone else around her. And she kind of has to like stay as this rock throughout the whole movie and not show any emotion and not share with other people that she is longing for a partner and she is hurting. She is trying to hold everything together, but she never lets that interfere with the relationships that mean the most to her. It's exactly how I would imagine Emma to be in real life. This person that has a very strong foundation and is able to hold space for the people around her. And her fault is kind of almost taking on too much and not giving herself enough. So going back to your point, Michelle, of everything that she's going through during this time in her life, I think she had been writing this script, but it's almost like, you always read stories after films come out And there are these art forms where people make movies or write screenplays that it is such a healing experience for them. And that's what I like to believe this movie brought. Like, I think that Eleanor, but also the entire film, like, healed Emma.
Yeah. I
in
mean,
her life.
also she got the hot guy on the horse. So, like, talk about
Listen.
healing moment.